you might want to make something round, like one of these. Some of these, or most of them I think, have got beads in them, but I'll just show you how to do those without beads to start with, and with beads it would be just the same, but you just need to thread those beads on before you start. So once again, starting with the slip knot, so wrapping the wire, pulling through to create a slip knot, and I'm going to make 1, 2 stitches. So this one's going to have a little bit of a hole in the center like this, maybe a bit smaller than that one, because I'm going to go into that last stitch there, or that first stitch that I made, that first slip knot. Oops. So I'm not going into the next hole, I'm going into the first one, or the last one. Sometimes you do have to push it through a little harder than others. Okay, so now I'm just going to go through both of those loops, and now I'm going to go through the next one. So I'm already in this one here, so I'm going to go into that next one. And now I'm going to go through those 2 loops, and then I'm going to go through the next one. So what I'm doing here, so that's the first one, this is the next one. What I'm doing here is we'll make it sort of, if I kept going like that, it would make it sort of concave. You know, you'd have that dip in there. If I wanted to make it flatter, I'll show you what I'll do. So I'll just do another one of those. So I'm going into the next stitch. It's not really showing much of a shape just yet, but the more you do, the more rounded it'll get. And I'll go into that one. So as I said, if I kept doing it the way I'm doing it here, it will sort of be concave, like a bowl. So what I'm going to do now is, in between, I'm going to put an extra stitch, and that way it will be much flatter. So I'm just doing 1 stitch on its own, and then I'm going into the next hole. So go through the 2, then I'm going to do again 1 stitch on its own, and then through the next hole. Go through the 2, 1 stitch on its own, and then through the next hole. And look, it's a little bit hard to see at times which is the next one. Doesn't matter, just what you think, where you think it should go. So most of these that I've made here are very, have been done in that way. They're very sort of, I'm not particularly making sure that everything's going in the right spot. And it doesn't matter, because I like them to look a little bit sort of messy like that. To the next one, an extra stitch, and into this one. extra stitch, and to the next one. Sometimes the shape might look a little bit strange, but you can sort of pull it as well to get the shape that you want. Extra stitch. And as the circle gets bigger, we might need to put more extra stitches. So once it starts getting bigger, we might put 2 extra stitches in between each stitch. Okay, so now you can see it's starting to take shape. It's starting to look much rounder. If you have a look at this one here, it's really sort of, you know, it's got all those bits that go up and down. That's because I put lots of extra stitches in between those stitches, so it's really sort of curly like that. So you can make up whatever you like, however you want to do that.